Yeah, so they got this flesh-eating bacteria, man. That shit is out there in the Gulf, and it is something serious, right? The people dying. I heard about this like a month and a half ago, but it's still going on. And they're talking about people were dying, getting the flesh-eating bacteria from eating oysters too. So I found this video of this guy. He got it and survived it. Let's check out what he got to say.
Alert this morning. We're seeing more cases of flesh-eating bacteria in Central Florida. Some new numbers from the Florida Department of Health show there are 23 cases in our state, with 2 local cases in Volusia and Flagler counties. 5 people have died. So it tends to pop up in warm, slightly salty water. Health officials want to remind you, salt water or brackish water and wounds don't mix. They say stay out of the water if you have a fresh cut or a scrape of any kind. And joining us right now to talk more about it is Bobby Henderson. He survived this, and we're so glad he's with us this morning. Great to have you with us. Thanks for coming, Bobby.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk first about how this happened. So you were jet skiing, is that right? Where were you jet skiing?
I was jet skiing in Lake Dora, the chain of lakes in Lake County. And I was going back to the boat ramp. I put my jet ski up on the shoreline, and it drifted off into the weeds a little bit. So I went to go get it, and I stepped across a couple rocks, and I tripped and fell on one of the rocks, and I cut my leg. Didn't think nothing of it. Went home, everything was fine. The next day, I developed a fever and pain in my leg. Still, I just thought, I had a little infection. Well, it only got worse. And so I went to the hospital. So I couldn't walk on my leg. The pain was that bad. So I ended up, got some antibiotics. They sent me home. And like 24 hours later, the pain was so bad, I had to go back to the hospital.
Wow.
And so that's when they admitted me and started doing some tests and stuff like that. They cultured it and found out what it was. So then they did an ultrasound on it, found the bacteria in my leg, ended up having to do surgery and cut the bacteria out. I spent 6 to 7 days in the hospital, 20 hours a day on IV antibiotics.
Wow, incredible. And you still have a scar on your leg that's visible, but not bad. It's really not bad. Yeah. Talk to me about what that experience was like for you, because I imagine you were probably shocked. You probably spent your life in the water?
I grew up in Lake County for 55 years and been in that water many times. I've never heard of anything like this happening. I was scared when the night before my surgery, the doctors came in and said there's a possibility I could lose my leg if the bacteria touched the bone, So when I woke up from the surgery, I know they wasn't going to take my leg then, but the first thing I did was look and see if I had a leg.
Wow.
Yeah, but I had a big hole in there, and it had to heal from the inside out, so I had an open wound. I think 6 weeks of wound care I had to go to.
Wow. Were you even aware of the danger? Is that something that people talked about? Or, if you're out in the water a lot, did anybody ever say, oh, don't go in the water if you've got an open wound or a cut?
I've heard of it in salt water a little bit, but never fresh water. And then now that I've done some research and this has happened, there's more of it in fresh water than what people think.
Wow. What advice do you give to people at home who are watching that you learned from all of this?
If you cut your leg, cut anything, have an open wound in any body of water, treat it with antibiotics immediately. If you do have an open wound, do not go in the water. Yeah, stay away from the water. Don't go in there because you just don't know what bacteria. You can't see the bacteria.
Right. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. And when you hear these statistics, Bobby, like that 5 people died, that has to be shocking for you to hear that.
Yes, I've seen that. 5 people died. Many are still injured. Some people have lost their limbs.
Yeah.
And so, I won't get into water again.
So you're done?
I'm done. Yep, wow. Land only.
Well, we're just so glad that you're here to tell your story and that, the scars are minimal, and hopefully the rest of your life you are easy peasy, my friend,
yes,
because you survived quite a
Me too. I'm glad to.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks so much for coming and telling your story.
Yeah, man, and he said he's done with the swimming, done with it. After that, tragic situation, I understand why. I don't think I'm going to be fucking with the water like that anymore. How about you?